back to another episode of Plant-Based Salads. I'm Joey.
And I'm Tim.
What are we doing today?
So excited today. We're doing an updated recipe for the Seitan that we've made prior. So
So we're revising our recipe.
Yep.
We have a link right here to our Seitan video. And we used to make it that way. We haven't made it that way in a long time. So the overall process is the same, but what did we do? What do we do differently now?
So we're just essentially leaving the spices or the seasoning out.
Yeah.
Gives us the best flexibility for all these different dishes, from Asian, Hispanic to potatoes, you know?
We would make it the other way, and it's seasoned really nice. You can literally eat it off. You can start shredding and eat it, and you're like, this is really good, right?
That's not what we use it for.
No,
how we use it.
We throw it into dishes, in different dishes, Italian, Mexican, all that, and then it still tastes like that better than bouillon seasoning, right?
Yeah,
We're like, this isn't the flavor profile for this. So we really wanted it to be more like, and I hate to say this, but more like, the blandness of vegan chicken, right? Where, if you buy a chicken and you peel it and you put the pieces in.
Shredded.
Shredded. It doesn't have any taste. It just absorbs whatever's in the recipe,
Correct.
right? Right. So that's kind of what we wanted here. So we just left the spices out. Otherwise, everything's kind of the same.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to revise this recipe.
For those who are not familiar with Seitan, let us tell you that this is worth making because of the macros. One,
as we go through the recipe, I'm going to start telling you about the benefits of using seitan in high protein recipes versus like tofu, right? For one, for sure, the macros are hard to beat.
Absolutely. The amount of protein, that 1 gram of fat, it's all so good.
Yeah, and something it has over chicken is there's no cholesterol because it's an animal. It's not an animal product,
Exactly.
right? Chicken's an animal product. So we're not getting cholesterol. Plus, you're getting some fiber because it's a plant, right?
Yep.
So, unless you have celiac disease, this is, that wouldn't be the recipe for you then. But other than that, seitan is an amazing way to get high protein. Beans are not a source of protein. Beans are a carbohydrate, right? Like so many of these nuts and seeds, they're a carbohydrate. They're fat, they're a carbohydrate.
I feel like all those things are accents to the dishes that we've been making, right?
Because
There's nothing wrong with beans or seeds, but the amount that you would need to eat to get the protein is just astronomical.
Would be thousands of calories. Yeah.
That's why we're doing this alternative.
Yeah, so we showed you this before, and we'll go into again why seitan is actually a true protein source in a vegan lifestyle. All right, ready to get started?
Perfect. Let's get going.
Let's go.
All right, we're going to start with our measurements. The first item is Vital Wheat Gluten. I'm not endorsing this brand. This is just one that we got off. That's organic. So again, 300 grams.
So we've got the scale underneath there, tarred out to 0. So he's going to put 300 grams. And there you go. Oh, way over.
Scoop a little out.
Just a little bit. All right. Since it's the first ingredient, it won't matter, but as you do the other ingredients, you'll probably have to do them slowly. All right, 300 grams of Vital Wheat Gluten.
Yeah, I got exactly 300 grams. Again, this recipe is so flexible. It doesn't need to be precise. We're not necessarily baking to have a chemical reaction. So again, it can be off a little bit. It's not so strict.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, we need some pea protein. So again, we're just using the same brand here. You can show it up there so they can see it.
Yeah.
It's the same brand. It's just organic pea protein.
Yep.
We're going to put 125 grams of this. So should we do a little bit at a time, or?
No, that's fine. We're good. So this is kind of the difference. I think you'll see other seitan recipes include garbanzo beans.
Yeah, they use chickpea flour. Ours is different because it is pea protein protein powder. It's much higher in protein.
Yeah.
So you got 125 grams.
Just a little over.
Now we need 40 grams of nutritional yeast. Let's grab a cup out of here. Yeah. That's about a quarter of a cup. Maybe a little less. It's quarter of a cup measurements.
I wanted to show the flexibility of this recipe. It's not super exact.
I know, but we want that's going to affect the macros.
So we're going to go with 40 grams of nutritional yeast.
Yeah, 40 grams. Oh, we're good. There you go. Do we put the salt in now, or what?
Yeah, so this is elective. We're going to add a little bit of salt here for flavor. The water is also going to have a little bit of salt and pepper, but I'm going to add some here.
All right, so how much salt are you adding in here?
So since we live in Arizona, it's hot. We're not afraid of salt.
Yeah.
If you're in an area or for health reasons you're concerned about it, just be mindful of that.
Yeah. No one in this house has salt problems.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So
Perfect.
We've got our dry ingredients ready to go here.
Okay, so we've combined those 4 different ingredients. I've got a Danish whisk. You could just use a spoon that you were using.
Whisk.
Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna kind of mix this up because once we add water, we're not stirring it a lot or anything like that. So this will just really help. I think it's necessary. Okay.
All right, so you've Danish whisked this. All right, so the dry ingredients are kind of combined. Now what?
All right, we're ready to add some water.
Okay, so we are at 10 ounces of water.
That's 10 ounces we're starting with.
Tim's getting 10 ounces of water from the fridge. If you see me making faces, I've set all up the other cameras and all up, so it's all recording everywhere. That camera's set up right to this, but Tim's just kind of doing his thing, so I'll be constantly like moving it around.
Okay, so this is about a cup and a quarter of water to start with. As we do the recipe or stir it up, we're gonna probably be adding some more water. It's not super exact, so I feel like you can't go wrong with this. If you add too much water, it's still gonna turn out. It's gonna be fine.
So what are you starting with right there?
Start with a quarter and 1 cup and a quarter of water.
Right.
Essentially like 10 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what do you need here?
Okay. So, since we've been making a lot of this every week, I'm using the mixer. It's not necessary to get underneath the fingernails all gummed up and all that stuff. So for some of you at home, that's fine. It'll work. It worked great. But in this case, we're going to bring out the KitchenAid mixer and mix this up.
We're princesses.
Right. No.
We're not princesses.
We're not princesses. All right. All right, so it's time to replace with the dough hook here, and we're going to add a little bit more water.
Okay.
All right, let's get this out on the counter. Let's braid it up and get ready for boiling.
I feel like I need to take anxiety medication.
Why?
After just watching that. All right, let's get rid of this.
So this is what we have. Now you can overmix this, so that's kind of why it looks a little different. But
are you just kneading it?
Yeah, just making sure I don't feel anything grainy on my hands, so it is incorporated. All right, so the goal now is for me to get it sort of in a log or an oval, so then I can slice it up into 3 rows of dough, and then we're gonna braid it. Just makes it easier to shred later. So just watch what I do here, I guess. Okay, so I've formed a basic log here. I'm gonna take a bench scraper. You could use a knife if you don't have that. We're gonna make 2 cuts here to get 3 pieces. 2 cuts here.
Do we get that on Amazon?
Yeah, I think I got a different set here. Okay, some people like to keep these attached by not cutting the end. But I feel like that end needs to be braided as well, or incorporated. So, all right.
So does braiding it help it pull apart easier at the end?
I think it does, yeah. And then we're gonna braid this and let it rest for a little bit.
All right.
And we'll be set to go. So I folded it back over and then bring the ends together. So this is braided and separated. So I'm going to let this rest for a little bit for that gluten to get incorporated. And then in the meantime, we're going to get our water boiling, and with some seasoning, some salt and pepper. That's it. So easy. So this I'm just going to set aside. And again, we'll go get our water prepped. So how easy was that, guys? I mean, all right, we've got a pot of boiling water going. Woo. All right. In that time, we let this dough rest while we brought water up to boil. We got dishes soaking. So that comes up to about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So this should be ready to go. It's nice. Okay. So instead of using, expensive seasoning or, vegetable broth, that sort of thing, I'm just going to add some salt and pepper. And we're going to use this ground pepper. It's fine. It just, it's going to flavor the water versus the chunks from doing something a little bit more gourmet.
So before we had vegetable broth in here in the other video, we're not doing that anymore. That broth tastes, seasons it. We don't want it seasoned.
Yeah. So a couple teaspoons there.
Looking good?
Yes. So it's boiling. You can see in the camera. We're going to just place this in.
All right. Do you use something to put, need anything to push it down with?
No, we just want to turn it down because it's already submerged in the water.
Good.
We're going to boil this for 20 minutes. Then we're going to flip it over and cook it for another 20 minutes boiling water. So simple, right? It's almost too simple. Before we were browning it and then boiling it. You could put it in the oven. Just none of that stuff is really, the effect and the effort just isn't there. So this works. Just trust me.
And this is just how we've been doing it now, right?
Yeah.
You use it like chicken. We're going to show you in the end what it looks like. It looks like just shredded pieces of chicken, and it has no flavor, and you throw it in whatever. So the chicken and rice dish that we have, right?
Yes.
That got like so many views. That's a Pioneer Woman recipe where she made chicken and rice in the Instapot with chicken, right? And I said, well, I'm going to make that with seitan, right? So I just took her recipe, I substituted this, instead of cooking the Instapot, instead of cooking the chicken first and all that, it's already cooked. I just threw it in right before the Instapotted it for 3 minutes, and that was it. So I used my seitan in the fridge for recipes that people use chicken.
It's like it opens a whole new world for eating, and it doesn't feel so restrictive,
Not restrictive at all, yeah. All right, so we're going to cook it for 20 minutes, flip it, another 20 minutes, and we'll see you then.
Perfect.
All right, so this thing...
So our 20-minute timer has gone off.
Okay.
So it's time to flip this.
All right.
So I grab some tongs here.
I know this is floating.
By this time, it has floated to the top.
Yeah.
So all the more reason to flip it so we get uniform cooking. So it's coming together nicely. So another 20 minutes, and we'll be right back.
So is this kind of just on a simmer, or that's it, or...
Correct.
Yeah. Let me turn down the heat a little bit.
Yep.
All right, see you in a bit.
Okay, our second 20-minute timer went off. It's time to get this out of the pot.
Oh, still in one piece.
Still in one piece.
That's nice and moist. No, it is.
It is.
So, we're done with this, right?
We are.
All right.
So at this point, we're going to let this rest. So we can clean this up, come back, and then it'll be cool enough for us to pull apart. But we're going to want to get a weight on this.
Yeah.
But by letting it set, some of the water will come off, and it'll be a more accurate reading.
So we just let it cool off so we can handle it.
Handle it.
All right, so give it, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yep.
All right, see you in a bit. All right, so where are we?
Okay, we have our seitan. Woohoo! So this is the block. So we know our recipe makes 13 servings. So we're going to weigh this to find out our portion.
Okay, yeah. So we're just going to throw it on a scale. It's been tarred out.
Yep.
And we're going to get a weight of 1240. So 1242 divided by 13 is about 95 grams per serving.
Okay, great. So we know now the amount we need to accomplish that. So
what we'll do is we will put 95 grams on the scale and then put it in baggies.
Yep.
So,
or container.
Yeah. So right here.
So notice how I just go in and start forking it?
Yeah.
It's just that soft to do. I could also take off a bunch like this and tear it off. But I find like the fork works pretty well.
So we just do like a shredded chicken texture out of this, right?
Yep.
All right. So we're right there. So let me bag this up, and that's one serving. Okay, while Tim is doing that, I want to go over this. So here's the actual information. I'll show it on the board here, well, on the chronometer, on the screen. One serving of seitan, which is about 3 ounces, 3.2 ounces, right around 3 ounces, is 143 calories, 28 grams of protein, 6 grams of carbs, and 1 gram of fat. 3 ounces, one serving of cooked chicken breast. Same thing, right? Looks just like this. Is instead of 143 calories, which is ours, it's 147. So there are chicken breast is 4 calories more. Not a big deal, right? Instead of our 28 grams of protein, you're getting 26. So we actually give you 2 grams of protein more with this seitan than you get with the same amount of chicken, right? Now, chicken doesn't have any carbs, so if you're worried about carbohydrates, right, then that's fine. We have 6 grams of carbs. The seitan has 6 grams of carbs. But your protein and your calories is what you're worried about, right? I mean, there's no reason to worry about carbohydrates.
Well, I'm going to miss the cholesterol.
Well,
just kidding. Okay.
So, and we'll get to that. And then as far as fat, this is where we work out. The seitan has 1 gram of fat per serving.
Okay.
And even the chicken breast, which is supposed to be a whole food, and low in fat has 4 grams of fat. So, I mean, that's like 4 times the amount of fat, right? And then, like Tim just said, right, there's no cholesterol in plants. So, because this is made from wheat, which is a plant, there's no cholesterol. So 1 for 1, right? Ounce for ounce. 3 ounces of chicken versus 3 ounces of, it's actually about 3.1 ounces of seitan. Like, the numbers don't lie. It's a much better way to get your protein and your calories. Even if I was a meat eater, I'd be eating this because it's much better for you than the chicken, right?
It is.
All right, that's our video for today. Updated seitan. So hit that like button. Don't touch anything because I know. Hit that like button. Show us some love. Click on the subscribe button. Click on that bell. You get notified every time we have a new video. Usually every Tuesday. Leave a comment below. Have you switched to seitan yet? Have we convinced you? It's really simple. If you're a meat eater, like you've seen the chicken versus the seitan, comparison. Like it's hard to argue with numbers. I'm a teacher. I love numbers. All right. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye bye.